We're here with Steve Girsky, who's the CEO of Nikola, which is building both hydrogen fuel cell and electric trucks. We're going to talk about the prospects of the company. Now, there've been a lot of ups and downs and trial and tribulations, and you've been through here since it went public in the reverse merger with the SPAC. Tell me now what encourages you about the prospects for Nikola.
Well, Jerry, first of all, it's great to see you. I think the timing is right for what we have. We have one truck with two powertrain options, a battery electric and a fuel cell electric truck. And we're on the cutting edge of decarbonizing long-haul transportation. And we're sitting here in California where there's a huge effort going on to basically clean up the ports. There are 30,000 trucks serving the ports in California, and starting in January, any new truck registered has to be a zero-emission truck. And we are one of the leading providers of those trucks. If the fleet wants a battery truck, we can provide it. If they want a hydrogen truck, we can provide it. We're seeing green shoots all over the company. We're getting new orders for our battery electric truck, even though it's on recall. Our orders for our fuel cell truck keep going up. With the voucher program in California, we have 96% of all the vouchers for fuel cell trucks and 50% of the vouchers for battery trucks. So there's certainly demand for what we do, and we're excited to be on the front end of it.
Incentives and environmental credits are a big factor in this market, especially in California and in New York and New Jersey. When we look at this truck back here, let's just take California. I think you say that there's a list of something like $400,000 for it.
Up to.
Yeah, up to. So walk us through all the credits you can get and what a fleet would have to pay for this truck.
So if you want a battery truck, the credits are around $120,000 for a battery truck. And there's some other add-ons, IRA adds on that, $40,000 here or there. If you want a fuel cell truck, it's $240,000. But if you are a small fleet and willing to scrap your diesel, you can get up to $400,000, frankly over $400,000 to buy a fuel cell electric truck.
What type of customers have the most interest in this truck right now? Is it these small fleets or is it big fleets? I saw something today that Reyes Cola, with a big Coca-Cola distribution company, they just took delivery of 20 Freightliner e-Cascadias. That's a big private fleet. Is that who you're talking to, or are you talking to smaller people?
We're talking to both, big and small. Most of the fleets that serve the ports are smaller fleets, but we talk to big fleets as well. And everybody's dipping their toe in the water, so to speak now, trying this out, seeing how they work. I'll buy a few here, a few there, that kind of thing. We have 277 orders from 35 different customers, to give you an idea.
Are those firm orders?
They're non-binding orders, but it speaks to the funnel, so there's a whole bunch at the top, and as we get non-binding expressions of interest, they're going to apply for a voucher, and then we funnel them down. We give them an allocation slot, and we funnel them down into a dealer order.
Do you see the biggest early use is a drayage truck hauling containers from the port of Los Angeles and Long Beach inland to the Inland Empire distribution centers? Is that going to be the big first wave?
The ports are a prime opportunity for this because there's a big big push to clean up the ports. Because a lot of diesel trucks sit around the ports, it's emitting lots of carbon, so to speak, and putting zero-emission trucks there is better for the port, it's better for the environment, and frankly, it's better for the driver. So I think the ports are a prime opportunity, but we're seeing opportunities in long haul too. So the plan is start in Southern Cal, move to Northern Cal, and then connect the dots. We'll have a fueling location in Ontario, which is off the port, and then we'll have fueling locations in the port, so you can feed out from the ports into the other, into Ontario, and then work your way up.
The company still faces a liquidity crisis. You lost something like $400 million in the third quarter. You have, I think, $360 odd million of cash on hand. How do you get through that? How do you make that work without running out of cash to build this business?
So if you look at the third quarter results, our cash was up, our burn rate was down, and our orders were up. So we were able to access the capital markets to raise more cash in the third quarter that buys us some more running room. Our burn rate was down, so we're minding our costs, and our orders are up, meaning customers are still wanting to buy our trucks. So going forward, we've made no secret, we'll still have to access the capital markets, but every quarter we get closer and closer to a break-even quarter.
How much more do you think you're going to need to get to break even?
I think we said around 400 million is what we need, plus or minus. But again, we continue to challenge ourselves to pay attention to costs and push the envelope on revenue. People want zero-emission trucks. People need zero-emission trucks, and we're one of the few people who can provide that. And we're providing value for customers.
For this to be truly clean transportation, you need to have green hydrogen to run it. Much of the hydrogen now is made with a process that uses natural gas, which is a fossil fuel. So how are you participating in the development of green hydrogen, and where will your clients get that? Otherwise, you're just moving pollution around and you still have carbon emissions.
Sure, so we are looking at a number of different sources. There's a lot of green hydrogen projects coming on. The federal government just announced $7.5 billion of incentives to support green hydrogen hubs across the country, and we're in touch with most of those players and additional players that bring in green hydrogen on.
You were on the leadership team at General Motors during some tough times. What did you learn from that period that you're applying to this project?
It's important to have a plan, but it's important to be resilient, and plans don't always work. So once you're in the locker room and on the field, things change, and it's important to have a team that's able to adapt to that change. This team is super resilient here. There's been, like you said earlier, there's been plenty of ups and downs thrown at this team over the years, and they've responded, which is amazing. So having that ability to redirect on the field is super important. Having a vision of where we want to get to is super important, and people who want to are motivated to sort of run towards problems and expose problems and get that at them is very important, and what we see here, and frankly what we saw at GM at the time.
One last question. How long is it going to take you to get to break even?
We said we will get to break even, EBITDA break even, sometime in 2025.
Great. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, Jerry.